Hello everyone and welcome to a very weird looking beginning to this video. This is a collab with my dear friend Sanitz, who is a fellow elder goth in Sweden. And immediately I want you to go over and look below for her link and go check Sanitz out. Show her some love, go subscribe to her channel. When you're an elder goth, especially a Swedish elder goth, man, it's even harder, isn't it? I know she works so hard, she goes through so much, and she puts so much love and care into her videos. Go check her out, please, and support her. She invited me to do this collab, and as the thumbnail suggests, we are talking about Gothic horror divas. You know what we're talking about, right? We are talking about the queens, the originals. We're talking about the queens. These are the ladies who, when we were growing up and we were goth, sometimes that was all we had to look up to. These were the women we emulated because these were even pre-Susie Sue. When I was like a kid and watching videos and movies and TV shows, I would see Lily Munster, I would see her, I would see Morticia Addams, I would see Vampira in the movies. And that is what I'm doing today. Is mine is going to be an ode to Vampira. Now, I love the movie Ed Wood, and you should watch it. It is awesome. Plan 9 from Outer Space. If you know all these classic movies that all of us gothy, creepy people love, if you haven't seen Plan 9 from Outer Space or Ed Wood, I suggest you put them on your Halloween watch list. They are campy, campy, campy. Okay, if you want your goth with a side of camp, go watch Ed Wood and go watch Plan 9 from Outer Space. And you'll see how they fit together. I'm not going to tell you, do your own research. Anyway, if you're not familiar with Miss Vampira, this picture, I think someone actually did this photo of her, and it says Vampira the Legend. Here she is. Mela Nurmi is her real name. This is crazy. Here's another one. Look at her. Ooh. She almost looks like a female Peter Murphy, doesn't she? She is such a cool person. Sorry, I'm looking really close because seriously, I am so friggin' blind without my glasses, and Vampira does not wear glasses. This is the picture that is from my thumbnail that I love. And it says, Glamour Ghoul reveals Vampira, Hollywood's original goth. This is a story that came out in the LA Times. When did this come out? This came out in 2021. And it says, Vampira, Hollywood's original goth, emerges from the shadows in a new biography. So her name is M-A-I-L-A, Mela Nurmi, N-U-R-M-I, aka Vampira. She first appeared on late night KABC TV in the spring of 1954. She was tall, beautiful, and frightening. She screamed like a banshee, mixing each howl with a lewd lick of her full lips, which even in black and white glistened bloodily. Her pale body was almost a caricature of an hourglass figure. She wore like she really trained her waist with like a cincher. She was like super skinny waist and super hourglass. She was featured in the pinups of Joaquin Alberto Vargas. So if you know the Vargas girls were like the pinups, like the Betty Pages, that kind of thing, for whom Nurmi had modeled only a few years earlier. What made her memorable were the jokes she slyly delivered at machine gun speed, pop, pop, pop. She came heavily armed with oodles of sexy, macabre puns, and she wasn't afraid to use them. In the early days, she was asked by LA Times Tribune columnist to tell a little bit about herself. There isn't much to tell, she said. I was born in Lapland. I have an owl for a house pet. I have a 19-inch waist. Girl. The last time I had a 19-inch waist, I was 16. 38-inch bust and 36-inch hips. So we're talking serious hourglass. I can't do that with this body. We're just going to do the makeup, okay? My earliest recollection as a child is I always wanted to play with mice. I was very antisocial. I simply detest people. I don't like snakes. They eat spiders, and I'm very fond of spiders. Asked how she felt about children. She didn't miss a beat. Oh, yes. Delicious. My queen, a woman after my own heart. It says, at a time when Lucy and Ricky couldn't be seen sleeping together in the same bed, Vampira proved that the undead enjoyed more license than the living. She developed the double entendre to a high art Mae West was a fervent admirer. She developed, while she lifted much of her demeanor from the then popular Charles Addams cartoons with literal dashes of Norma Desmond, the dragging lady from Terry and the Pirates, and Snow White's evil queen, her Morticia was bigger, sexier, and campier. Here's a picture of her sleeping upside down like a bat. So cool. She was the best. She was the first goth, says Sandra Niemi, Niemi's niece and now her biographer. So the book is called Glamour Ghoul by Sandra Niemi, and I am putting it on my to-read list. So I might do a review of that book if you want to hear about it. Said, though most remembered as the vampire most wanted to, well, date, She was a multi-talented, inventive woman who got fewer breaks than she deserved and refused to compromise to make the most of those that came her way. She developed a performance artist persona in bars and nightclubs long before most people knew what a performance artist meant. She wrote jokes in journalism, designed clothes. She bent the notions of propriety in an exceedingly tame age. And unfortunately, it was also an age without the internet, no digital preservation. Almost the entirety of her television record has been lost. She is chiefly remembered for her performance in what is generally considered the worst movie ever made. I've watched it so many times. Ed Wood's Plan 9 from Outer Space. She insisted on playing a mute so she didn't have to speak Wood's horrible dialogue. Queen. But despite her ups and downs, she enjoyed one lasting bit of good fortune, a devoted niece who worked hard to produce this objective, affectionate biography. So she was raised in Massachusetts by Finnish immigrants. She had a difficult childhood. She had a lot of odd jobs. She went to LA with a traveling carnival. She performed at the Stunt and Smile at a traveling carnival, went to LA at the age of 18, took advantage of her beauty along with talent for hard stitching outre clothing from thrift store remnants. She met Orson Welles at Musso and Frank, and the affair left her pregnant. Oh my God, I didn't know that. And Orson Welles married Rita Hayworth. After giving birth, she put the baby up for adoption. How sad. I did not know that. I'm reading this biography. Look at, there she was in high school graduating. Okay, I know we're getting to the makeup in a minute. I know, you're already bored. You're bored, I know. But you want to know about Vampira, right? She was heartbroken, blah, blah, blah. You'll have to read the book. Also was attracted to beautiful men. She had a long relationship with Anthony Perkins from Psycho. Excellent. Marlon Brando often climbed through her apartment window. Holy crap, that's crazy. Her longest relationship was with James Dean, especially if you count the seances through which they stayed in touch after his death. Oh, I'm so reading this book. She was a woman of intense affections, which were generally mutual. She had a wicked sense of humor. Anyway, so here is the book, Glamour Ghoul, The Passions and Pain of the Real Vampira, Mila Nurmi. And I love the picture, too, on the front, with her in the mirror and then her like there. So this is a book I will be reading, but today we are going to be just doing some Vampira makeup. Now the thing is, what did she base her makeup on? The Evil Queen, right? And I did the Evil Queen makeup. It's a little, I don't want to say it's repetitive, but I was feeling a little repetitive doing this makeup because I literally said, you know, the Evil Queen is like the traditional goth makeup, very pale, and then you have the hollowed out cheeks, you have the big, you know, the really exaggerated cut crease and the red lip and the big eyebrows. I want to try to do a little something different with this so I don't look exactly like the Evil Queen. We'll see what we can do. But I have this palette from Unearthly. This was from last Halloween. It's called 1964. And yes, I thought about doing Lily Munster because I'm using this palette. But I have the black wig and I just love Vampira. And I love that she had this book come out that I bet a lot of you didn't know about. I know I didn't. So we're going to be using this because really I just want to use Mockingbird Lane, which is the white, Dracula, and Werewolf, which is this one. I may do something fancy and put a little bit of sparkle in it. I'm not sure. We'll see how it goes. I don't want to overdo it. I really want to stay true to Vampira. So I have already put on primer. I've already put on my lashes because that gets you like halfway there. And this should be a kind of short and sweet video, I hope. I don't know. We'll see. I'm probably going to time-lapse this makeup, so we shall see how that goes. I've never tried filming in time-lapse, but I'm really curious to do it. So I'm going to film a little bit in time-lapse. I'm going to put my foundation on. If it doesn't work, then you will see me just skipping ahead with foundation on. But let's try this. I really want to know how this works. Let's do it. Okay, I gotta tell you, I don't like the choppiness of the time-lapse on my camera, so we won't be doing that again. Anyway, I used the House Labs Triclone Skin Tech Foundation. So because I'm doing more of a full coveragey kind of thing, I really don't, she has a super clean look and I really don't wanna have this all settle in lines and wrinkles, but I do need a pretty full coverage. So I did put it on very heavily with the Beauty Blender. And I'm just going over it again, mostly because I don't want to waste this on my hand, but on my hand you can really see the coverage. Sorry about the not the best lighting in here. It's nighttime when I'm recording this and I am not at home, so I don't have my ring light. I don't have any of my box lights. I am doing this on the fly in Michigan at my friend Jamie's house because I am here visiting my family. My dad's 93rd birthday was recently. I have to ask my dad if he knows Vampira. I don't think he did. I don't think my dad traveled in the Vampira circles. Just saying, you know. Normally I would really, really white my neck out. I'm going to try to white it out a little bit more just so it doesn't look too weird. But this is one of those looks where it's pretty simple. You want super white, very dead looking, powdery skin. And I think what I want to do, I'm going to definitely be using this again. I broke out my Moonstone palette again. And I'm using Detox, which is the gray, which is what I'm going to use to kind of really hollow my cheeks out. So I brought my makeup box with me. I actually have a, here, let me see if I can just tilt this down a little. I have a traveling makeup box here that I brought. And it was really hard. I had to try to pack everything that I thought I might need in this one makeup box. And let me tell you, if it's not in here, I don't have it, I can't use it. So I have palettes in here. Do I have a powder? Do I have a powder? Survey seems to say that I forgot to bring a powder. I brought a powder brush. Let's see if I have anything that we can use that is going to be white enough. This might work. So I got the Carnival, the Spooky palette from Jolie Beauty, this one. I'm thinking I can maybe try this white in here as a powder. And I would aim for this one rather than the Unearthly because the Unearthly is between blues, greens, and purples. This one's at least on the end. So I'm gonna see if I can just, if you're trying to get a powder out, squish your brush like this and kind of squish it and hold it in like this. That way I'm not getting all the oranges and things on here. And let's see if I can wipe my face out with this a little bit. Yep, that is actually working. If you could see it on my forehead, it's helping anyway. This is, I'm not going to be able to get this as white as I want, I don't think, but it's definitely making a difference. I just have to not get it in the orange or else we're going to look like a pumpkin instead of Vampira. Let me do this really quick. I will be right back in the interest of time, but you could tell it's really making it more matte and whitening it out. I will be right back with a very white face. Not as white as I would like it, but you know, I'm traveling. Like I said, I could only bring certain things with me. So it is what it is. And sometimes, you know, you gotta make do with what you have. And speaking of, I brought my Unearthly brushes, which are these, but these are all pretty big. I brought this one I used the last time. This is All Over Highlight Powder. And I forgot it just has a C on it, but I really like this brush. I like using this for cutting in. I might actually use some of the Unearthly on my cheeks as well. I am not opposed to putting all this makeup all over my face, so I'm just going to do really cut in right here because she has the super gaunt, very chiseled face. This is so hard, you guys, because this lighting, honestly, it's terrible. I'm not kidding. This is, if you think it's hard to see me, it's hard to. I'm going to do some photos, though, so you can really see the makeup job a lot better. I'm going to do some photos, and I'm going to do them in better lighting upstairs. So there is better lighting in the bathroom upstairs, but then there's nowhere to sit. I kind of have to drag a chair upstairs, up a whole flight of stairs, and then try to center it and center my camera. Jamie does not have a house that's set up for filming YouTube videos. I think I might, the next time I come out, I might bring an extra ring light out and just have an extra ring light here so that I don't have to worry about this happening again because it's like kind of a pain in the butt. It really is. Not gonna lie, it's not the most fun trying to do this when I don't have the right stuff. So I just hollowed out my cheeks a little bit more. I could probably make them even more hollowed out with this palette. So I'm gonna take a little bit of Werewolf because it's like a pinky brown. I mean, it's not pink, but I think this is gonna even be better. Oh yeah, that is a gothy cheek right there. And cut it in. You want to go under and really hollow out and bring it down to the corner of your mouth like so. This is easier for me to do because I have a very, very defined cheekbone thanks to my Polish heritage. I have the Polish face shape. If you know, you know. It's kind of deep set cheekbones, prominent cheekbones. There we go. All right, that's much better. I'm going to just do a little bit along the sides of my nose to contour like so. She has kind of a similar nose and features to her. That's another reason I chose her, especially after I did Evil Queen. You know, we have kind of the same kind of features. I'm going to take a little bit of, which one is this? This is Guidance, which is this sparkly one right here in the Moonstone palette from Copacetic. And I'm just going to put some on my nose as a highlight. I mean, she wasn't necessarily big on highlighter. She did really pale. You want to do that. You know, you want to look like a vampire. You want to look dead. You want to look pale. You want to look gaunt. You don't want to be a sparkly vampire. Us goths back in the day, we were not sparkly vampires. We were not doing the spark. That's why we make so much fun of sparkly vampires. We like pale vampires that have no color whatsoever, but for the purposes of this, just doing a little bit of highlighter and things just to kind of bring out my face shape. All right, let's try and do this. Well, should we do the eyeshadow or should we do the eyebrows? I think we should do the eyebrows first again. Now, this is going to be very similar eyebrow to, I'm going to use the Fenty again. Although I'm really tempted to just use a liquid liner. You know what? I used the Fenty the last time, right? Remember when I used this? This was what I used for the Evil Queen, and I used a pencil. Now, what I didn't like about that is the pencil, it just kind of, it didn't give me as sharp of a line. So what I'm actually thinking of doing, and this is a very scary, brave move on my part. Scary, scary. Don't know if I can do it. Oh my God, I'm so scared. I think I'm going to do a liquid liner. Okay, so I have my liquid liner. This is from Penelope's Tears. And let me see where she starts. She goes here. She goes up to about here again. So we're just going to start drawing this on. The thing about the liquid liner is it's so much faster to do. And she has kind of a very thick but rounded right here. I prefer doing my brows with a liquid liner like this. And you could tell I've been doing this forever because I could do this really fast because this is how I used to wear my brows back in the day. So we have up like this, and then it's kind of thick here, up at the top, build up at the corner. I don't know if you could see what I'm doing. I'm kind of, my hand might be in the way. The tricky part for me is always that I have to, it goes right into my piercing, which sucks. Okay, I'm gonna have to kind of draw around my piercing because that's the way this is turning out, which is really difficult, but you know what? Okay, it's working. We're getting it. It's a little wonky around my piercing, guys, not gonna lie. It's hard to get. You can clean this up though, and I like to pull it down at the corner. If you pull it down like that. So there's Vampira eyebrow number 1. Now again, I said the hard part is getting them to match up. I even want to make this thicker. I want it a little bit thicker right here. You want to look like really scary and threatening. But basically this was, you know, back in the day, like the goth look we did was very pale, very gaunt, make your face look as skinny and dead as you can, and big scary arched eyebrows, and either a black or a blood red lip, and that was it, and your makeup was done. So it wasn't that difficult. And the thing that always took me the longest was doing my eyeliner, because getting the eyeliner right is like getting the cat eye. And sometimes I would do like the Susie Sue, the really fancy cat eye. Okay, this could go really badly. There we go. I got the basic line. So even though the line isn't perfectly straight, I'm going to be filling it in. The good thing about her brows is they're really thick. So if your line isn't perfect, you have a lot of like play, you know, to get it right. I'm doing my makeup with like the worst overhead lights in the history of the world. I got to tell you, I hate Jamie's lighting in his house. I've noticed that since I've come here. His house is amazing. His lighting is terrible. I got the basic thing in there. It's not terrible. You're probably looking at it saying, it looks almost perfect, but to me, I could see where it's off. This one actually can come down a little bit more. I was gonna bring this one up, but now that I'm looking, oh my God, I'm sweating. I have beads of sweat all over me, which is also ruining this. because it's October here and it was 78 today. The air is not on. I now have beads of sweat all over my forehead and my nose, and I'm roasting. Whew, guys, I am roasting. I'm not even kidding. It is so hot in here. I need something to cool myself off with. Wait, let's grab this. I don't know if you can see it. I have beads of sweat all over me. Plus, I wanna let my eyebrows dry before I do anything else. Let's let these suckers dry. I have a little smudge right up here that I want to try to fix. I just want to cool off a little bit. But really, I don't want to do anything until this is a liquid liner. So, oh my God, please don't see my hair stuck in it. But I don't want to ruin the liquid liner that I used for the eyebrows. I think I can just clean this up with a beauty blender, possibly. Yep, okay. So there's the brows. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And that was with a liquid liner. I could have also used what I'm using for the eyeliner, but not gonna do that. You know why I'm so hot? It's like I'm wearing a wool hat because this wig is crazy hot right now. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go open a window. Hold on, I'm gonna open a couple windows, maybe turn this fan on. Is this fan going? Oops, nope, turn the light off. That's annoying. There's a ceiling fan above me. Okay, listen. Oh my God, dude. Sit under a ceiling fan. It dries your liner really fast. I will be right back. I am back. I have cooled off a little bit and my brows are dry, which is more important. So what I was doing also while I was waiting for these to dry, I was checking. If you look at her eyes, Vampira did not wear full cat eye, crazy, fully lined Cleopatra kind of eyeliner. She actually just did the big lashes and she did a line over the top with a very small wing and basically no liner on the bottom. And she did have these like circles under her eyes and the cheeks like I have. So that's a good thing. I am going to do very traditional, not eyeliner on the bottom, which I don't usually do. But also while I was away, stepped away from the camera for a second, I am trying to find my eyeshadow brushes. I brought my Blend Bunny brushes, and I think we're gonna start with the small one. Basically, she has a very, you know, a cut crease kind of up here, and it's very exaggerated, and there's really not any color to her face. So I'm gonna use Dragula, which is the perfect name for something to do with, oh, I'm trying to zoom in and it won't let me. Dragula is this kind of gray charcoal in the 1964 from Unearthly palette. And this one, I don't think you can even get this palette anymore. I have two, look, I'm holding two mirrors. What is wrong with me? I don't need that one, do I? I'm gonna do just a very, like this, a very exaggerated cut crease line. But the weird thing is that she does not have any color on her lids. It's tricky because, like I said, there was no real social media. There was nothing to really look to see, like, how did she wear her makeup? What did she wear? Any color? Did she do anything like that? And she really didn't. I mean, it was so, her makeup was so minimal. It was basically just to exaggerate her features and not really add color at all. So I'm trying to do what I think that she probably would have done, which is this big, really extreme cut crease. This color is perfect for this. So this is Dragula. And if you don't have this palette or you didn't get this palette, there are other palettes that will have a color kind of like this. I really want to bring this up and really dark right here so that I have that inner cut crease that is really extreme and coming almost up to my eyebrow, like so. All right, and then I could do the, should I kind of look down, down and up. She did a reverse smize. She didn't smize. She did not really smize at all. Now I like Werewolf. I'm thinking about seeing if I could smoke this out a little bit with this shade, but I almost feel like I want to do something else on my lid. just want to do a little bit of werewolf to make this pop a little bit more. It's adding more depth to it. And I'm really focusing everything I'm doing on the inner. I'm not doing much on the outer corner. She really did not have a lot going on there. I brought my new Haunted palette from Gourmand Girls. There are some very good gothy colors in here for working with this eye look. Let me grab another pencil. Oh, and I do actually have an idea for what to do with my lid. The Collective Cosmetics, I reviewed these multi-chromes, and I have a multi-chrome highlighter that can be used on the lid. So I'm thinking about using that. The problem with this is, like, you have to be really careful when you're smoking this out. Don't want to do anything in here. I kind of like Scare. Scare is right here, and it's almost like Scare is just a little tiny bit lighter. Let me see if I can hold these up and see. Okay, see 1964 and Scare, I have them stacked up on top of each other. This one right here, oh, right there, and the second one under the bright purple. They're very similar, but Scare in the Gourmand Girls is just a little tiny bit lighter. So I just want to use it right through here to kind of blend this out a little bit more. Well, that side came out perfect. Let's see if we get this one looking the same way. I'm actually really liking this so far, though. Liking it a lot more than I thought I was gonna like it. All right, now there's really not much to do with this. We're gonna do a very, very red lip, a little bit of liner, but the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this, look at this multi-chrome, and it's nice and warm, which is great. It is a crazy white multi-chrome from Collective Cosmetics. Look how warm it is in here. It's like melting. And I am going to use this right on my lid. And I'm going to draw it on under this line. Like so. So that I have a very pronounced lid. And I'm going to use a brush to just blend it a little bit, but I don't want to blend it too much. But that's making the lid pop a lot more, because I really feel like just using a white powder shadow on the lid is not doing it for me. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Love this. Love that for me. Let's see if we could just kind of blend these together. Now I'm blending a cream multi-chrome with a powder eyeshadow. And sometimes that can go badly, but this is blending so perfectly. And I really wish I had better light in here for you guys, but it is blending really, really well. I guess we're keeping it real this video. This is a real video, like old school. Remember the old school beauty tutorials? They didn't have ring lights and all that stuff going on. They were like in their kitchens and stuff. Ooh, I am like really liking this. I'm really just trying to do something very different from my Evil Queen look, because this could easily look so much like my Evil Queen makeup. Oh, all right, let me see if I can. I'm trying to move my camera so the lighting is a little bit better, and it's very tricky, but there we go. And as I said, she doesn't really have much in the way of eyeliner. I was going to use my Blend Bunny, this one, but I really kind of, if I can find it, where did I put it? If you lose your liner, look under your palette. This poor thing was hidden under two palettes. All right, I'm just going to use my Penelope's Tears, and this is what I used for, I used this actually for my eyebrows. And I'm just doing a little tiny bit of a line on the top. Not much, because she really, I mean, it is crazy. I've been looking and it, okay, here's what's interesting about it. If you look at photographs of her, she has the most minimal, tiny little eyeliner, and she has no eyeliner underneath. Like so. Okay, this is what her eye makeup was like no eyeliner, very thick on the top. But she doesn't have anything going on under her eyes for eyeliner, and she doesn't have a line on the top, really. Now, when you look at artwork of her, and people do paintings of her or portraits or whatever, they tend to make her eyes have like this whole cat eye thing going on. But if you look at her black and white photos, she did not have that going on. So the last thing we have to do is this really bright red lip. I did bring my Blend Bunny lip liner. That unfortunately, she had some trouble at Blend Bunny with their lip liners. So I managed to get one before she stopped making them. Now, She does have kind of like overlined, very full, sexy lips. So let me do this real quick. It's so warm in here, you guys. My lip liner is like liquefying. She has way fuller lips than I do. I mean, my lips are pretty full, but they are nowhere near hers. And I'm using Like a Pro, which I mentioned in a video I did recently. Yeah. My favorite indie brands. I love the thread. Oh, I love it. Oh, I love it. Okay, there we go. Let me go take my headband off and then we will have the full Vampira effect. I will be right. This wig actually has bangs to it, so I tucked them in, but I think it's working out really well. But you can tell it's very simple. It's a little bit more simple. A little more powder on my nose. I don't mind a little bit of pink on my nose, but so there we go. This is my ode to Vampira. I am going to get her book. I am going to read it. I really love the way this turned out. I hope you like it. This looks really weird. I am not used to me with long black hair. I am used to me with a blonde mohawk and shaved sides. This is very, very hot, but you can see how you really want to carve out the cheekbones. You really want to bring the eyebrow up. And of course, that kind of eyeliner. Yeah, not eyeliner, eyeshadow. So I don't have the spooky nails, but if I did, it would look very cool. I'd be going ooh, tappy, tappy, tappy with the nails. Thank you, Sunnies, for asking me to do this. I hope you learned a little bit about Vampira in this video, and maybe you will even look up her book or come back here. You can like and subscribe, and I think I am going to be ordering her book because I really, really, really want to see it and read it and look at the pictures. And let me find one more picture of her. Here she is. And here is my ode to Vampira. I hope you liked it. I hope you maybe learned something. If not, hope that you were just entertained and maybe learned a little bit about her. I love you, Sunnies. I hope you have a beautiful Halloween. And as Mae West said, come up and see me sometime.